Since we stayed up last night till like 5 a.m. trying to get stuff done, we are now starting today around 2 p.m. Unfortunately, a little bit of a late start, and I've got to go to Nicole's brother's birthday party at 7 p.m. So we've got about 5 hours to work on the engine. I'm assuming we'll work on a little bit more after. Would you say the goal is to get it in the car before we leave? At least like kind of mount it up?
Like sitting in there, make sure the drive shaft works.
Fingers crossed that everything will go smoothly. I think the first thing that I'm gonna try to tackle, there's a stuck stud right here that Alberto tried absolutely everything to get out yesterday. He tried heating it up, he tried using some PB Blaster, we tried getting it out with vice grips, but they just keep spinning. So I'm gonna try to grind down each edge to make it flat, that way we can get a better grip with a vice grip. Then I'll heat it up, then I'll spray some PB Blaster, and hopefully we can get it out. I grinded down the side of the bolt, and now I'm just heating it up. I've literally tried everything, and I cannot get this thing to even move. Looks like we're probably just gonna have to drill it out, so I'm just gonna grind off the bottom, and then that way we can just put it up in the air and just drill it right through without having to unbolt it and worrying about the same issue with other bolts. We obviously don't have time to resurface the flywheel, but Trevor said I could lightly sand it, so I got it feeling a little bit smoother now. Cleaned it up with some brake cleaner. He's pulling out the old pressure plate, and we're gonna put in a new clutch. The old clutch looks like it's in pretty good shape, but we figure we might as well replace it while we have everything out, just to be preventative. We got an Action Stage 3 clutch. Should be good, I think, somewhere around 400, 500 horsepower, and it'll be pretty easy for Nicole to drive with, which is a main concern. Pretty. Cool. That's what means it's 6-puck, that it has 6 of these things versus like the millions of little things like the stock one has. And what's the reasoning for that?
So it's basically like the way the weight distributes, because if it's distributed like evenly, it's gonna have less clamping force, whereas if it has like 6 pucks, there's like more pressure on each of the pucks, so it grabs a little harder. And then the pressure plate, the springs in this should be a little bit stiffer too, so it'll actually clamp it a little bit tighter than the factory one.
Cool.
I'm just trying to replace the bearing, because this thing, there's another snap ring on it.
Gotcha. Here, you want me to help again?
Yeah.
Bingo. This one's, why did I have to put the angle on it?
Yeah, I don't know.
That makes it so much more difficult. So I almost need to get this edge in first. I don't know if that's possible. It's my hand. Bingo. Bingo.
These R154s are like weird, like the pull style deals. I guess we'll see real quick. Clean! Close it. To get to that point again, we'll just use...
Should I let it pull in?
Yeah, let me do this thing.
Right now we're gonna do a temporary mock-up of the engine and transmission so we can make sure we have the right length drive shaft, because if not, we're gonna have to overnight one. Don't even know if we'd have time yet at this point. But I just got the measurement from a company, so I don't know if it'll be perfect or not. Fingers crossed, the mounts that we have do have a little bit of movement, so we should be able to position it where we need it to be. But I just wanna test it to play it safe first. One of the sway bar bolts was stripped, so Trevor's just gonna cut the sway bar plate off. We can't run a sway bar anyway unless we get like some aftermarket one.
All right, so we just got the engine kind of sitting in there and the tranny mounted up. The other tranny mount right there is like this first generation deal. This is like the second generation, so I just have a slat of wood in there right now holding it up. But we got the drive shaft and we tested it and it fits. So now we can kind of relax, and basically I'm just gonna be up under here trying to adjust these CX Racing mounts. They have a ton of adjustment in them. You can go like up and down and forward and backward and in and out. And so just trying to get the engine level and in position. So it's sitting like everything's hooked up. but most of the weight's on the engine hoist right now, just so I could tighten everything up so it stays there.
We don't have the proper bolts yet for the motor mounts, but their drive shaft fits. So we're looking good. Now the only thing we don't have is a TPS, but I'm pretty sure we can borrow one, or JDM Orlando thinks that the one off the electronic throttle body will work. Don't know about that, but it sounds like there's hope. Nava's been helping me polish up this radiator. Trevor just got the water neck in. We really gotta go pick up some like bolts and stuff, but we're waiting on Haggard to come here because they're dropping off their trailer and they're gonna be keeping it here for like a day or two. So look how perfect this old pipe is. Literally lines up perfectly.
Yeah, if you just bring it straight back now, you're good.
Later, guys.
Later. Thanks for the hookup on the trailer part, dude.
No worries. Hopping in the turbo Corolla.
Let's hear that wastegate.
Look at how dangerous this roof rack is. This is why I always say to shave your roof rack to your roof. That just looks ridiculous. It's Nicole's brother's birthday today, so we are heading over to her house for a few hours. Trevor and Jamie are gonna go on a date. Well, let's go, we're late.
Car up in the air. He's just getting the last of the drive shaft bolts all tightened up. Got the transmission cross member in here. Everything all bolted up nicely with that. Engine mounts, that stuff's all good to go.
I felt really bad leaving, and it's gonna make it harder because there's so little time left to finish by the deadline, but hanging out with Nicole's family, especially on birthdays, is really important to her, so it was important that I be there too. While I was gone, Navo and Trevor got the drive shaft and the engine mounted along with the transmission. The only thing really left is Alberto has to tack weld the mounts because they have like a little pivot that's not supposed to be there. I don't know, it's just a weird system where you just weld it once it's mounted right. Anyway, so he has his welder here, and I don't know what the goal is tonight. I'm gonna talk to Trevor. I know I'm tired, but I can drink coffee. Alberto's tired, so I think he's probably just gonna help with a few welding things. Maybe there's potential to start it tonight. I don't know, we'll see. I mean, it would be sweet to start it, but I'm not gonna push it. It's not worth us staying up ridiculously late when we can just start it tomorrow. Just for the video's sake, obviously it'd be cool to start it so I could have that clickbait title, you know, first start. Okay, back to work. I got a really cheap turbo back exhaust from CX Racing. We were able to overnight it, so we've got it laid out here on the ground. Looks nice and pretty, and the most important thing is that it will be able to switch the exhaust from the passenger side to come out the driver's side in the back, since the 1J and the 2J both come out of the turbos on the passenger side. So it should mount up nicely. We're gonna start tacking this up. Trevor's taking care of that stuck bolt in the downpipe, and then we should be able to just mount this bad boy up. We gonna start it tonight. Damn, Alberto laying dimes. That looks so good.
That's all I can do with 97 amps and 110.
I bet Matt Mormon never thought welding would be happening in this garage. I was drilling and a piece of hot metal hit my finger, and then the drill slipped and it hit me in the head, and then I fell down.
Oh, we both got it!
Got a ladder. Thank you. Replacing the hard line right now while we're waiting for the engine mount to cool down from being welded with a new braided line to go to the new slave cylinder underneath on the transmission. Taylor came to hang out. Taylor, what do you think about this whole 1J nonsense going on?
I think it's pretty tight. I'm proud of you. You said you were going to do this, and I had my doubts. I didn't think this was going to happen.
But
I came to help, so I'm here helping. So me and Navo, we're holding it down.
we leaked a little bit of fuel in the pretty valve cover. Like I said, the fuel lines come out over here, and now the fuel rail's on this side. So we're bending them upwards so we can run a fuel line across here and then meet the fuel rail, and should be good to go. We got the transmission all bolted up. Shifters in, engines mounted. Let's get this thing fired up. Just cleaned up the coil packs. Gonna look at a picture to see how they were in before, because I don't remember what order they were in. Do you start by feeding in through the car, or?
Yeah, we need to kind of get this stuff into that thing, but we can kind of set it up here and start connecting stuff.
What are you doing, Adam?
What? Yeah.
Pull back, it went to the wrong hole.
Oh, it did?
Yeah, pull back.
Uh-oh. Which one? We're approaching about 4:40 a.m. Getting about to the point where we stopped last night, and I'm thinking we're getting pretty close to the point where we can crank this thing up. Let's just not forget to hook up the battery, because that's definitely one thing that's not hooked up right now.
Nobody has phones, we don't do that.
And the power wire for that starter, alternator.
I don't know where the power is, like
Starter
where the
is
start.
already connected. It's on the
I don't know where it
harness.
gets power from though.
I want to do an oil change like super soon on this, just
What
to
are you doing?
make sure everything's so clear.
Why are you using a funnel? Didn't I say something the other day?
Funnel makes everything better.
No.
No, that's gonna take a long time with that little funnel. It took about 5.5 quarts. The car doesn't have an exhaust on it. What time is it, Trevor?
516.
No exhaust, no intercooler piping, no radiator, but we can still start it just to make sure it fires up and then take care of all that stuff tomorrow. What?
Let's put nipples on this tree thing so it doesn't rev up when it's sucking air.
Okay.
Because that'll make it rev to like 2000 RPM.
Do we have nipples?
Yeah.
No, we do.
Yeah, bud. Alright, let's see if there's fuel leaks. Is it priming?
Yeah, you hear it?
Yeah.
Turn it off.
We don't want to flood it, right?
It won't.
Well, this will. Because it keeps priming.
This car is different.
Yeah. We about to start it?
Hopefully.
I think we're getting ready to start it. And we could see if it pops off and then we can open the door. Uh-oh.
Nothing?
I don't have to clutch it.
No.
Nothing.
You're turning the key?
Yeah.
Everybody's freaking out over some smell. Oh, I smell it. What is it? Is the battery disconnected?
Something's burning.
Yeah. Some electric.
Oh god, that was so bad.
Yeah, that sucked.
Just rigging up some power to the starter right now just to get this thing started.
Right on that.
Yeah, it started cranking when you hooked up the battery. So is the key turned all the way on or something? Shouldn't there be a signal that goes to the starter?
It uses the key.
Yeah. Because you're technically, aren't you jumping it right now the way you have it wired?
Right now?
Yeah, you're basically jumping the starter. Like,
This is just connecting the harnesses together.
oh.
Hold it for now.
Stop!
Supposed to be the relay for that,
Yeah, it stayed cranking.
right?
It didn't stop cranking.
Was that because that wire that you guys have bridging it?
That's weird.
It seems like that wire is hooked up to the part that actually starts it. Every time in the same spot, only when he's turning the crank pulley right, it gets stuck. I think maybe it might have something to do with the transmission. Hopefully, not the engine. Fingers crossed. I kept turning the car and fuel started pouring out. So we think it might have a stuck injector and be literally the same exact thing that happened with Nicole's car before. And the 1J might be hydrolocked now.
Things off.
But do you think that means it did damage to the rings like it did with her car before?
So it should be.
Is that part what it? Well, you hear like the cylinder squeaking, like when we're trying to turn it. Like why?
Yeah,
is
'cause it was
sound
like-
Hey guys, I just want to put this out there that if this is actually the problem, I found it. So
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
actually.
Adam did.
Yeah.
I was like, no, there's no way.
remember, we kept on, the fuel pump kept pumping so much, and that just scares me with this car because, you know,
That's what it does.
yeah, if you have a stuck.
Hydrolock.
Alright, if this happens, that means Nicole cannot drive any car ever again because this is just gonna get hydrolocked no matter what it is.
Let's just throw this car on Craigslist as it stands right now.
The fuel pump is.
Just needs a tune. Just throw it on Craigslist for sale. Just needs a tune. So if we remove the plugs, then there's just fuel chilling in there. So all the cylinders are full of fuel.
Look at that one. Like all the way to the top.
Oh my gosh. Bro, there's a short, and apparently that's what's causing the injector to fill up when it
The
shouldn't.
injector's not stuck, it's getting power all the time. It's like, I'm using this as a noise light. This LED strip, I hooked it up with the injector and we're getting full power and ground. And it's causing the injector to get stuck.
Trevor's pumping the fuel out. Managed to pump most of the fuel out. It's now 6:50 and it's starting to get light outside. How crazy is that? We basically just pulled an all-nighter. Trevor brought a spare ECU, so we're gonna be able to try that and hopefully that'll get it to work. It's a very rare commodity around here to have a spare JZX 100 ECU, but we got one. With Trevor's ECU, it appears not to be sticking again. Appears. As things were looking poorly, I started to get very sleepy, and now that there's a sign of hope again, I'm getting the second wind, or should I say this is like my fifth wind, but yeah, you guys know how it is, cars. We're getting rid of all the excess fuel. Is it coming out of the downpipe? Yeah, it's dripping. So we plugged in the coil packs and we're gonna see if we can get her fired up and call it a night. Or should we say a morning? But it seems like we need a new starter. Luckily, 2JZ starter work for 1JZ and Adam have 2JZ starter. Good. Do we need to plug in the math?
Ready?
Yeah.
Stop. Sounds like it's not turning over.
The battery's probably getting a little weak too.
Oh, hell yeah, we got spark.
Yeah.
Power is sent through the starter, so we were trying to start it without power being sent through the starter because the starter was getting stuck. So like there's a million things going wrong, but the car's about to start, right, Alberto?
Yes, it's gonna start now.
This red is going to the starter, the power on the starter, and this black wire is going to the power that should be going to the starter. So what we do, since the starter is sticking and staying engaged, is as soon as it starts the motor, I pull the red one off and then leave this on so it continues powering the rest of the car. So.
Come on, so close. Okay. All right, that was the closest we've gotten to a start. Should I turn it off so it stops?
No, you can't.
Oh yeah, it doesn't matter.
Again.
Is there enough fuel left? We've killed the battery from trying to start it, so we got it charging now. So close! Oh, look at all that fuel just come out.
Water for the turbo.
Water?
Yeah. Alright, let's go.
What do you mean water?
When we washed it.
Oh. So close. Is that still water?
Yeah, it's water coming out of the compressor. Go.
Ah. Is it idling?
Yes, there it is.
Hooray! Finally! Come on, baby. Purr. I wish we had that TPS.
Yeah.
Let it die. We should be considerate of the neighbors. It is 8 a.m. on a Saturday.
They can hear.
Yeah, it's probably not that loud. It's 8 a.m.
They're awake.
They better be awake.
That turbo whistle sounded pretty cool.
You ever heard like an old dude mowing his lawn at like 6 in the morning?
True.
Dude, I was just running the 1JZ like a diesel. I was just holding the throttle, just like controlling the RPMs. Oh my god, there's the intake manifold. It's so cool.
I don't know why, we should definitely be sleeping right now, but we just started mocking up intercooler piping. All right, so the engine is in. All I really need to do now is paint the heat shield with some flame resistant paint. Alberto welded up this nice intercooler piping. I just need to put some clamps on them. I need to clean up some of the vacuum hoses over here, tuck some more wires. We need to get the TPS. We need to install the radiators and fans. Well, one radiator, we're not running two, so I don't know why I said radiators. It is currently 9 a.m., so excuse me. I don't know how you're still awake, Alberto.
I know.
We,
Like a record.
I know. We've gotten like crazy second, third, fourth, fifth wins. Yo, me and Trevor thought we were gonna be able to do this ourselves. Clearly, there's absolutely no way we would have been able to finish this on time by ourselves. Thank you so much, Alberto. Everybody go subscribe to Alberto. He's almost at 100,000 subscribers. It will make him so happy. So happy.
99,000. That's like so close.
You guys know I'm like all about sleep, so the fact that I've been going ham on this shows you how stoked I am and eager to get this done. You guys are so stoked on it. I feel like this is like some of the most hype I've ever had on videos, so it's really cool that we've been doing this project, keeping it daily, and somehow we're surviving, we're getting things done, and hopefully tomorrow we'll get this thing on the road so we can drive it, have some fun, and see what it's like.
You still got more work, you know.
I know.
I already told you we're paying this patch goal too.
Yeah, okay, I know. Bye.
Alright man, see ya.
When you said